Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today at our Rigor webinar, Oilfield Services in Rigor. And we're going to talk today about the provision of the services through our program and how you can schedule your jobs, how you can track time and employees and see the availability of your employees, etc. So all these topics will be covered today in this presentation. So today's agenda is on this slide, and today's presenters are myself and our software consultant Arsen. So we're going to cover these topics for you today. So we will talk about the service items in Rigor, so how you record your services in Rigor, and different tools and automation methods, how you can provide services in Rigor, how you can automate your operations within clicks of a few buttons, and the system will do all the stuff on the background. We will talk about the service schedules and service documents and invoice particularly, and we're going to cover the oilfield service reports that are available at your disposal in Rigor. So let me just run the quick introduction of our company for those who doesn't know about our company yet. But Nikolai, our VP of Sales, Marketing, and Business Development, will do the quick intro in 2 minutes.
So quick introduction, because I know there's a few of you who are new to Rigor, and we appreciate you participating and appreciate the patience of those of you who are current users of Rigor. So we'll just run a quick intro of what Rigor is and where it comes from. So basically, Rigor is a flagship product of the Belkasoft Corporation. We originated in Calgary, Alberta. We started in 2012 with the mission of promoting and advancing the paperless enterprise into the oil field services and rentals business. We're all about the customized solution for our customers because we appreciate the differences in all the businesses. And we are also focused on the integrations. That's the biggest focus of our platform. We're not building all-in-one solution. We're building the solution for the diverse world of multiple application and multiple systems working together. So the product family of Rigor is growing significantly, and we are pleased to introduce to you more solutions, specialized solutions, as well as the updates to the major platform. From the cloud that supports the major database that your operational system would be hosted in, to the mobile applications that we've now, out of one, we've developed 3 more and now have 4 applications for different functions, and to the specialized solutions for the equipment distribution, to the downhole tools, to the waste management, flowback, telecom, rig move, and other industry applications that we've developed solutions for as part of working with our customers. Whom is a nice segue you can see right here on this slide. So some of whom rather, and the types of equipment that the companies are managing using Rigor. So they vary from the complexity and the location in the cycle of the oilfield service and rentals. So anything and everything can be set up to be managed effectively in Rigor, regardless of the complexity of the process. Rigor is a very highly customizable system.
Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get closer to our main topic of this presentation, and I'm gonna share just a little bit of information about the service job concept, how we structurize the service operations in Rigor. So basically, our system is designed to generate different documents, because document is capturing all the details about the job in the system. So, and different documents are interconnected and are related on each other. So we usually start with a rental service agreement, which is the master document of the job, and different companies treat this document as differently. Some of them are using this rental service agreement as a quote for the customers, because this is actually the price agreement for the job. And you can state all the services that you are going to provide to the customers, and all the rental equipment that you will be dispatched to the client's location, and all the prices that are stated in the rental service agreement will be the basis for the invoice down the road. Next document in the system that is generated from the rental service agreement is the field ticket or delivery ticket with a type of service. And those documents are designed to reflect the information about particular rental equipment that is dispatched at the client's location, or particular services and quantities and employees and their time that is related to this job. And at the end of the day, once the job is done and all the tickets are confirmed by the field operators and field guys, the accountant comes to their jobs, and they generate invoices. And invoice is an important document in the system because it's the final result of the whole job. And the invoice is almost automatic document because you don't need to perform any manual actions as you usually do in the accounting software. You don't have to calculate everything and nothing, because the system calculates everything automatically. It takes all the information from the tickets, both field ticket or delivery ticket, and it takes prices from the rental service agreement. That's why I am talking that rental service agreement is an important document, because prices are coming from this document to the invoice. Now let's take a quick look at the documents itself. So the rental service agreement, for services, we have a special type of the agreement, which is OFS, which comes to the oil field services. And once you do the OFS type of rental service agreement, your service and parts tab becomes the primary, and you can not put the rental equipment on this rental service agreement, but you can use only services and parts. And you see that a rental service agreement has prices and base quantities and total amounts. Now we come to the delivery tickets with a type service. And this type of delivery ticket allows you to, again, to provide only services without having the rental units on it. And service type of the delivery ticket also allows you to track your crew and time of each employee for this particular ticket. You can have as many tickets per one job as you need. You can do the services every day throughout the month or even several months. And for each day, you'll have a specific a single delivery ticket because it is created for a particular date. Also, the feature of the delivery ticket service is the unit numbers and equipment. Once you do the service, you can state for which particular rental equipment that has been maybe previously deployed at the client's location, you provide this service to. And also you state the field technician for each line of the services. So if your crew is doing the job for the client, you can state as many people as you need on this crew and track each employees and each actually service quantity. So, and as I already said, at the end of the job, we have a service invoice that takes only services into account and doesn't touch the rental fee. The service invoice states all the services and parts, with the quantity prices are taken from the rental service agreement and total amounts calculated automatically. Now let's talk a little bit about the basics of the system in terms of services, and Arsen is going to talk about this a little bit.
Yes, thank you, Gleb. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Before we dive into talking about services, you can see the line state service item. Now in Rigor system, everything that has the capability to generate revenue is called an item, and services are no different from it. To create a service, we go into the item card, we click create, and it opens a window where we specify the options and the name and the details for our service. Now on your screen, you can see that we have a landfill charge by ton service, which has a type of service. Again, items can have different types, which can be rental units, services, trucks, goods and materials, consumables, etc. And besides the types, all of our services and items can have units of measurement as classifiers. And on your screen, you can see a snapshot of the classifier, and it can be a day, it can be inch, foot, hour, any unit of measurement that we deem possible can be set here and used during our operations. Now in the services, when we create that item as a service type, you can see that we are on the equipment tab of the item card. And in this tab, we can join pieces of equipment to our service and to provide them alongside with our service. Now, let's move to the next screen where we can discuss the flexibility of our services. In the fields of operations, I know most of you are aware that we can have any number of different types and kinds of services, be it cleaning, be it like labor, be it inspection and testing, hours and location, delivery, everything. So in Rigor system, we have the ability to choose any kind of service, to name it any name that we need to, and set different units of measurements for the same service, meaning we can have the same service charged by days, we can have it charged one time. If the unit of measurement is set to each, we can charge it by hour, we can charge it by ton, or any other way. So let's move on to the next screen, and we'll talk a bit about the automation tools. And yeah, let me pass the mic to Gleb. You'll continue.
Yeah, thank you very much, Arsen. So let's get started with the tools and automation, how you utilize your services and track your services in Rigor. So as I already said, Rigor allows you to track your employees' time and job time, actually. So on each delivery or field ticket, you have a crew tab when you can add as many members as you need and reflect their time. We have a billable hours, payable hours for each type of service and job. Also, overtime hours can be entered, per diem and bonus amounts. So on the time tab, you can state, or your field technicians or your dispatcher can reflect the time of the job, start and end time, and also time at location, in and out. You can also track your mileage for this particular ticket. The system will automatically calculate the total number of hours. And this information can be used further in the reportings, the reporting tool, and you can generate different reports that will show you how many hours each employee have been working this month. And based on that information, you can prepare your payroll reports. So next very useful tool, which is mostly used by the dispatchers, is the Field Technician Availability Dashboard. And this dashboard can be found on the home page. So you can switch your home page to the Dispatch FT screen. And that screen actually represents the all the field technicians by their particular titles. And also it can be split by departments. So if you have different yards and different shops allocated across the state, so you can track all the field tags by these departments. And this dashboard actually shows you the period of 1 week, 2 days before today and 4 days in the future. So you can see how many jobs each employee has and what particular tickets they're assigned to. That allows dispatchers to analyze which employee can be assigned to particular job. Now we can schedule the services in Rigor by using the recurring service schedule tool or feature rather, and you can set a particular schedule that delivery ticket will be generated on. So if it's a weekly service, you can state on which particular date of the week this service will be provided, and delivery ticket will be generated as of this date. Or you can use different options like bi-weekly, semi-monthly, monthly, or even daily. And you can state the time of the ticket that will be generated. Once the job is done, you can set the schedule to inactive, and no other delivery tickets will be generated. Once you set the schedule for a particular ticket, now you can go to the delivery tickets list where you see all your delivery ticket generated, and you can run the schedule. So you select for which period of time you want to generate delivery tickets, week or month, and based on that, you click generate, and all the delivery tickets according to the schedule will be automatically generated. We can also build a schedule for field tickets. That's another type of document in Rigor, which allows you to provide services as well. And this is a little bit different type of schedule because this tool allows you to generate field tickets for a number of days or until a particular date in the future. So if you set, for example, if you want to generate tickets for a month ahead, you can set this parameter and generate tickets. So you don't need to manually generate ticket every day. You just can generate it in a bulk and just go through each ticket on a day and check the details, maybe to change the crew that will be doing this job and this ticket, etc.
Now let's talk a bit about rig movement nodes. In oil field, and not only in oil field, there usually arises a need to move equipment from one location directly to another. For that purpose in the system, we have the rig movement node, which is a document and a process itself, a feature, which can be used to simplify and do the job within one window. So the dispatcher or whoever it is who is doing the job will not have to go end the first rental agreement, return the equipment, then deliver the equipment for the new client, the new shop, or the new location rather. In your screen, on your screen, you can see two slides of the same rig movement node. On the left is the usual look of the rig movement node that you get when you click on Create. You have to input the information there as of the client, the location, the end date of the current job, and new client, new location, and the start date for the new job. You can also see that we have 3 checkboxes at the top part of the window. The checkboxes specify which type of rig movement node is going to be created. We can set to have a new client or a new location. We can set to generate a current location invoice upon generating the documents, and we can actually do a partial equipment movement, which is shown on the second slide, which is a little lower. You can select the types of equipment or particular units to move from one location to another and leave the other equipment in the current location. After setting all the information in this node, you just click on Generate button, and it takes a couple of seconds, and it generates the return delivery ticket, the invoice if specified, the new rental agreement, and the new delivery ticket for the new client or the new location. So I can pretty much assure that this simplifies the work, and it provides the means to cut the time on the process by maybe at least twice. Let's move on and speak a bit about the rental break node. The rental break node is used to provide a break for the client when requested, when in cases such when equipment is not being used but is still on the client's location site. The rental break node can have several types. One of them is the full type, which is used when we know the start and the end date of the break. But usually the case is when we know only the start date and the end date is not known. So we can select the start date, we can select the rental service agreement and the units that are needed to be on break. We can actually set a standby percentage and a standby rate if we need to. And we just post the document, and the status of the units becomes at location, which means that the rental units are not being charged for the rental. They are just at location waiting for the rental break node to end. Now, the end type of the rental break node can only be created using the rental break node of type start from within the type start rental break node. And it just ends the current rental break node and changes the statuses of the rental units to deployed, and the rental days are continuing to count.
Another feature of the delivery ticket service is the swap of the equipment. And this type of ticket allows you to easily return and deliver another piece of equipment of the same type of rental item. For example, on that screen, you can see that we returned the Frac Square 500 barrel tank. 500 barrel tank, and the particular unit number is returning back to the shop. But at the same time, on the same date, we deliver another unit number of this exactly rental unit. And also, you're allowed to select the condition of the returning unit, and particular actions will be performed in the system based on that conditions. So again, if you want to return the equipment and deliver another piece of that equipment back to the location, you can use delivery ticket service. And on the rental units tab, you'll be able to select the service type. It means the direction, the movement direction of the unit. Also, you can do these services within this ticket as well as just a regular service ticket. And because what's the difference between standard and the regular delivery ticket with a type return or delivery? Because those tickets are allowing you to actually to move the equipment in one direction, return or delivery of the equipment. But the service ticket allows you to do these two actions into one ticket. The only thing that you should be aware of is the date of this movement, because this should be on the same date. If you are returning the equipment at one day, say 9th of March, but you're delivering the next equipment, the next piece of equipment on the next date, in this case, you need to generate two separate delivery tickets. Now, let's talk a little bit about the reports for oilfield services, because everything that we have discussed already is reflected in the reports. So, Arsen, your turn.
Yes, Gleb, let's go ahead and talk a bit about reports. First one I'd like to talk about would be the employee hours report, which basically gathers all the hours information that we have in the service ticket or delivery ticket type service. And it represents all of this information in the report based on employees and the departments if the job was internal, and clients if the job was performed on the client location. You can see that we have the information about the week when the job was done. We have the information about the document that registered the job. We have the date. We also might have the line of business if presented in the structure of the company. And we have the information about the hours: billable, payable, regular, overtime, per diem, and even bonus. So basically this provides full-fledged information for the analytics purpose, and this can be used for any kind of analytics in the process of your business. The second report is oilfield service hours report. This report is grouped by the service that we perform on the client location, and it provides all the information that applies to the current service. For instance, let's talk about the cleaning and restock service. That is the first one in this report. It was performed on the location PD118. You can see the delivery ticket or the field ticket date that registered this service in the system. You can see actually the document number. You can also have information about the rental service agreement that this service originated from, the rental invoice, date and number, and you can see the quantity of services provided. So again, it's pretty much all the information that is needed for the analytics purposes in the system. Let's go ahead and talk about the oilfield daily activity. Now, this report is a daily report, and it represents information on, let's say, about the services performed on the daily basis. You can see that it's grouped by the service and the business line and department. So if that information is available in the system, you can see all of that information. We have the pumper service, which has the start date. You can see the client it was performed for, the rental service agreement, and the field ticket number that this service originated from, the consultant or the employee of the company that was set in the service ticket, and all other relevant information, again, that is needed for the analytic purposes. Let's move on and talk about the field technician status history. Now, this report is grouped by a field technician and it represents all the information applicable to that particular field technician for the selected time period. For instance, in the report on your screen, you can see that we have selected the year as a period, the year 2018. We did not filter the report by the field technicians, so it can represent all of the information for all the field technicians that we have employed. And it can show all the information by the particular field technician. Unfortunately, this screenshot does not show us the name of the field technician. Let's say it was me, and in that case, under the period line would go my name, and the rest would be the same. So you can see that I was working on September 24, 2018 from 3:53, and the status is working. The recorder document is the work ticket, or rather field ticket 3531. The client is Fleur de Lis Energy that I work for in the location of Trinidad 11, and the rental service agreement is RSA 00230. So again, detailed, precise information about the field technician for the selected time period is present in this report, and it can be used in analytics and pretty much everything else.
Okay, thank you, Arsen. So now we are coming to the Q&A section of our webinar. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to ask us those. And I assume that you might have some questions. So I see the question from Ryan Lowe, and thank you, Ryan, for this. And here's the question: is there a partial equipment move? Can some equipment be returned while the rest is moved?
Yes, I will address that, Gleb. Thank you, Ryan, for the question. It's a good question, actually. When we do a partial move in a rig movement, we usually move the equipment from one location to another. If we need to, the rest of the equipment stays in that location, in the current location that we moved from, in a status of, it stays in that same location. Then now we just need to generate a return ticket for those pieces of equipment to return, which are then returned to our shop using that ticket. That's all the process that we need to do. So yes, basically we can return partial equipment to our inventory while moving the other pieces of equipment to the new location.
Okay, thank you. Another question that I had is, we've been talking about the rental break note, and Arsen, what about the invoice? If we generate a rental break note for the job, do we need to manually reflect those rental break days on the invoice, or the system will take it automatically?
The system actually, when we do a rental break note, will count the days of the rental break note, and those days will be automatically reflected in the rental invoice when we generate the invoice. So nothing manually has to be done. Unless you have the need to edit some information in the invoice itself, the process is mainly automated.
Correct. From my side, I'm just gonna add that usually we do recommend and we do train our users to use the single documents, I mean delivery tickets or field tickets or rental break notes or rig movement notes before you generate an invoice. Because invoice, as I already said, it's the final reflection document of the whole job. So once you miss some information on the invoice, it means that you need to reflect this information on the ticket first and then to regenerate the invoice so it will take automatically. So because sometimes we see situations when people start manually changing the invoices, dates or rates or something else, and then it may lead to some misconnections in the system, because if we change, for example, start and end date of a particular service, it means that we miss some days on this job already. And when the next invoice will be generated for this particular date, those days will be taken in the next invoice, but I assume that the accountant will not want to actually to see these days. In this case, we recommend to use the rental break note to extract particular days from the invoice. My another question to you, Arsen, is what's the difference between rental unit and service in terms of using the, like how we properly need to use these two types of items in the system? Because some of our clients, they provide equipment to the customers not as a rental units but as the services. So can we do that?
Yes, we can do that. Now let's talk about a bit about the differences. The rental unit itself is a representment of the physical unit that you have in your inventory. The service is rather the service that you provide to your client. Now both types are available for us to create from, and when we deploy a rental unit to the client location, it starts counting the rental days. And now we can have the unit of measurement for the service as set as each, and we can have pieces of equipment attached to the rental to the service itself. And when we provide that service to a client, it's not counting the rental days. It's just being charged by the unit of measurement preset for that particular service at the time of the service provision. So that's the main difference of the two things mentioned by Yougov.
Then thank you very much for your attention today. And again, if you'll have another questions after this webinar, you're more than welcome to address them by emailing us or just to give us a quick call. Or you can see this webinar recording on our YouTube channel, just to reiterate some information, to repeat this. And we're gonna host another webinar next week or in the next week after. So please make sure that you sign up for the webinars, and you can reach this list of our upcoming webinars on our website. So please welcome, and we'll be happy to see you again. All right. Thank you very much for your attention today. And again, have a nice day, and see you in the next webinar.
Yes, thank you very much, and have a great week.
Goodbye.